Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another edition of a Monday Night Raw review as I'm covering for July 15th, 2024. The show was action-packed. It was great for what it was. Tonight, they were live over in Ohio on the road tour for SummerSlam, which is going to be a great, outstanding card as Triple H continues to build up and stack up the card. More importantly, this is going to be a great PLE when it comes to everything that will unfold. Tonight's advertised, we got Rhea Ripley in the house. We have Drew McIntyre making his return, as well as we have Damian Priest, the World Heavyweight Champion, having a face-to-face with Gunther. More importantly, we have Sheamus taking on Bronson Reed, as well as we have decent tag team action for the women's division as Zoe Starks and Shayna Baszler take on Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. As well, we had a hard-hitting main event of Jey Uso taking on Dominic Mysterio, as well as we had Sami Zayn, the Intercontinental Champion, taking on Ilya Dragunov with a controversy with Bron Breakker interfering in that match. But more importantly, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you'll be always notified when everything is going on in my channel, and chime down in the comments and let's talk professional wrestling. But tonight started off with Rhea Ripley making her entrance, and she gets on the mic to carry a decent promo. She started off by saying that mommy's officially home. She's going to handle Dominic Mysterio later. But right now she's concerned with Liv Morgan, who's been running around with the Women's World Heavyweight Championship she never lost. Liv thinks she took her out, but really, she just pissed her off. She wants her to walk out there and bring her stupid little self in front of her, so she can rip her apart. Then Dominic Mysterio comes in, carrying a single rose, looking like a sad puppy. And before he got to get into any business to say anything, Liv Morgan appears on the Tridentron. Her voice is slightly hoarse. She apologized for it and she explains that she had a long night in Mexico and she's had been doing a little bit of screaming. She talks injuries briefly before saying that she meant everything when she said she was going to take everything from Rhea Ripley. That includes Dominic. She didn't get to appeal at first, but she's going to spend time with him, looking into his eyes, kissing, and becoming very real to her. More importantly, anything else. Mysterio tries to protest the entire time, but Liv says mommy may be home, but she's on top. Dominic begs and says it's not what it looks like, but Rhea Ripley pushes right through and makes the challenge for SummerSlam for Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley for the WWE Women's World Heavyweight Championship. She says she knows her endgame will always be for them to fight for the title, so she's not going to run. But Rhea should know she's not the same Liv Morgan she beat before, and she finally is going to beat her. She accepts the challenge. Rhea says at SummerSlam she's just not going to win the title back, but she's going to end Liv Morgan's career. She blows a kiss into the camera, and that ends that segment as Dominic Mysterio tries hard to give her the rose, but she's not having it, swatted away as they head to the back. Then we get ready for Sheamus' entrance as he makes his way from the commercial break. Brand new entrance. It was pretty dope for what it was. Then he got ready for his match with Big Bronson Reed. This is a hard-hitting back and forth match. Everything you could have got, including outside brawls, signature moves, a whole lot of back and forth. But these big boys put on a clinic when it came to everything in this match, and I enjoyed it. I'll give this match a 3.8 out of 5 stars. The match concluded with Sheamus picking up the victory with a decent jumbo rising knee and pick up the pinfall on the fallen Bronson Reed. It's where things picked up at the post-match where Pete Dunne was able to blindside Bronson Reed before he was about to attack Sheamus, but refused to shake hands with the Celtic Warrior. But then Pete Dunne jumps back into the ring and lays out Sheamus from behind with a forearm when Sheamus wasn't looking. Bronson recovers and heads to the top. Pete Dunne pretty much shrugs his shoulders and The big man, Bron end up hitting that lovely tsunami splash for a connection to end that segment. This is going to be intriguing to see where things will keep picking up when it comes to the big man, as well as having Pete Dunne be implemented. Bron is going to be looking to get their revenge on Pete Dunne, but more importantly, it sets a new feud for Pete Dunne versus Sheamus, and it's going to be interesting. But we know that's going to get a banger after banger, and it's going to be a great when it comes to seeing those guys putting it on, and I look forward to seeing that great classic when they initially battle. Then we show to a shot of Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley catching up into the Judgment Day clubhouse. Rhea respects how Damian had been handling things, but wants to know why Carlito's always hanging out. Before Priest can properly explain, Dominic rolls up and begs Rhea to hear him out because he's trying to call her all week. But then Rhea replies and says, "You've been trying to call me all week, but what about the rest of the 3 months when she was out?" And she storms off and sends everything into a break. As well as Dominic had roses of flowers earlier in this segment. It was via social media, but they pre-recorded it. And where Rhea showed up and it was a bouquet of black flowers in the Judgment Day clubhouse. Rhea wasn't having it, and she threw them directly at Dominic Mysterio. Then we come back from commercial break. We have Ilya Dragunov. He's being flagged down by Sami Zayn, who's walking down backstage. He assured him that he didn't save him by expecting a title match. But Sami reassures him that he went to Adam Pearce because he watches Ilya and reminds him so much of himself when he is in deep fight, ugly and all. Because that's how he looks when you fight for your life. That's the kind of person he wants to be in a ring with. He tells Dragunov he's better bring the best, and Ilya says Zayn had better bring his best as well. And they have a respectful nod, and then they went their separate ways. Then we had a decent video package from Gunther, who was highlighting his whole entire accolades of his career, including winning the Intercontinental Championship, the forming of him switching from Walter to Gunther, as well as him winning the King of the Ring, and now heading to his new adventure of becoming the World Heavyweight Champion at SummerSlam. It was a highlight of, I love the way how they did that package. You know he's going to be winning the World Heavyweight Championship. Then we show footage of Zelina Vega, who's being interviewed earlier in the day, and she's being interviewed by, I believe, Zaki Gaeta, and she says that she has no love for Liv Morgan or Rhea Ripley, but she's going to be in front of the line whenever they sort out that love triangle. And Sonya Deville, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Starks roll up, and Sonya says Zelina isn't in line anymore. She says she doesn't care about her mustache or her forehead, but it's pretty much that was a shot back from Zelina Vega, and nothing's going to keep her from continuing to pursue the title. Then they got ready for the match of Zelina Vega versus Sonya Deville. This match was okay, it was pretty decent. It was a 3.5 out of 5 stars, a lot of back and forth. This match was decent after everything had broke down, after Zelina was trying to go for the 619 and a drop kick in the ropes, but Shayna Baszler tripped her up and put her fingers into the ring skirts before kicking Vega's elbow. Sonya Deville took advantage of this by hitting her inverted Deville's Advocate reverted DDT to pick up the pinfall on her prone Zelina Vega, who injured her elbow. The post-match, the heels put the beat down to Zelina Vega, but before Lyra Valkyria, Katana Chance, and Kaden Carter made the save. Then things broke down afterwards as the heels weren't threatened. They took their time and they weren't in a rush to leave, as these ladies are looking to become a true threat when it comes to the women's division. Lyra, Katana, and Kaden are going to have their hands full, but they're going to go to battle later on in the night, and it's going to be interesting to see how things may unfold. Damian Priest is walking backstage when he runs into Dom Mysterio. He calls him, asks him why he didn't warn him about Rhea Ripley. Priest tells him that he told Dominic, but he didn't want to hear it because he was too busy playing with Liv and lying about talking to Rhea. Then main event, Jey Uso rolls up. Yeet. Pretty much he says, let's talk about the woman, and let's talk about basically Rhea Ripley. He ends up saying, "Is Rhea Ripley single?" He says, "Maybe." Uso sells down. "Tell Rhea I said hi." And then Priest asks Mysterio and says, "Are you going to let him talk to you like that? About his woman like that?" And he needs to teach Jey Uso a lesson. Dom runs off like a little puppy and says, "I'm going to make that match happen." And then he goes to break. That was kind of a little funny segment, but I'm enjoying Jey Uso continue to be into his own. And he's so over right now. Dominic is lost right now, but I see him probably joining Liv Morgan. That's what look is going to end up happening. Just how the way things are unfolding. He's probably getting frustrated and getting tired of Damian Priest bullying him over, but setting him up as well. Then we get ready for Chad Gable, who cracks the code under things who are broke down with Uncle Howdy. He's in the backstage segment. He says that the privileged conversation in Bo is here tonight, so he can go talk to him. And Chad says he'd take care of it, and he does so, and he calls out Bo for tonight. Damian Priest, he makes his entrance. He gets on the mic. He talks to the Dayton, Ohio fans to tell them we're all rise for El Champion. He's out here to wrestle Braun Strowman, but we all know what's advertised. He wants to go face to face with Gunther right here and right now. Gunther makes his entrance. He says Damian is so confident, carrying Raw week to week, living his childhood dream as World Heavyweight Champion. Good for him. He made an honest assessment of Damian, and he is not living it up to it. But his reign has been nothing, and he wants to save Priest for the embarrassment. Just hand him the title, and we can move on. Damian says he wishes it was SummerSlam right now, so he can knock the stupid smirk off his face. Gunther says this never was his dream. While Gunther was handling everything in Europe, Priest was fighting on the streets every day for his life. He's just here for a paycheck, and we don't need you here. Priest says he earned his spot, as well as he said he's the last person you would take from him. And then the ring general acknowledges his hardship, and he won't question the street credibility. But he's honest in being in the street is his choice. But don't blame him for your parents for being the offspring of worth of a good life. They go back and forth into this promo, which is pretty decent. I guess it's saying the rich kid versus the poor kid kind of segment, which they were setting up for. But as things unfolded after things broke down, Braun Strowman came down to get ready for their match after they had their initial blowout from verbal jabs at each other. Then we got ready for Braun Strowman versus Damian Priest. This was a lot of back and forth as things got ahead. And this was a great one when it came to pretty much a lot of errors, but a lot of back and forth. Damian Priest was able to pick up the victory by hitting that lovely Southern Heaven of taking advantage of will-less Braun Strowman, who did the all around the world and ended up missing into the barricade and damaging his knee. But it was an interesting, slow-paced match. It was okay for what it was. It was very mid. It was 3.5 out of 5. But the post-match happened when it came to Gunther, who returned to the ring to square up with Priest. He slapped him across the jaw, and Damian hit him with a right hand of his own, putting the boots to the ring general before being chopped with a lariat, and Gunther retreats after the situation. Then we switch gears to the backstage segment with Maxine Dupree, Akira Tozawa, and Otis. They are chatting backstage when Chad Gable rolls up. He's all excited. They all came around and said he figured out Uncle Howdy who is Bo Dallas. Maxine says we all know that, and Gable acts like they're going to have his back, but when he calls Bo out, the priest says they're not talking about him, but rather Xavier Woods, who rolls up. Since Kofi Kingston is going to be out for the next couple weeks, Chad Gable blows up and asks them, are they serious? And Otis says they are very serious, and then Chad Gable storms off. Then Xavier says he wants to make final testament regret taking Kofi out, and everyone agrees, and then they have a little discussion afterwards. Then we got ready for the women's action of Katana Chance, Kaden Carter, taking on Zoe Starks and Shayna Baszler. This match was smash mouth, a lot of back and forth, everything that you could have got. They also did a little highlight of the Mexican tour while they went into the commercial break after the entrance started for Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. They talked about Stephanie Valkyrie being signed and made her debut in their in-ring action, and so much more that went on with their charity work and in the highlights of the matches. Then we got underway with the match that started with Smash Mouth, a lot of back and forth. These ladies put on a clinic. It was everything you could have got when it came to tag team transitional moves, tag team moves, just in general. Kaden Carter and Katana Chance did their thing tonight, and it truly impressed me when it came to just the overall of what they did tonight and how they invest themselves as a chemistry and as well as a tag team. But more importantly, things broke down as Shayna Baszler was able to pick up the pinfall after a lariat press onto Katana Chance with a knee. So basically a high press over like a tree of woe kind of style into a knee. And Katana Chance ended up losing via pinfall. As things broke down, they had Pat McAfee give us a breakdown of The Miz making his appearance at some kind of golf tournament and chomp up his chest and all that stuff like that. But then they broke down that segment and cut off from there. Then they went back to the Judgment Day clubhouse. Finn Balor's chatting with Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan helped them win the tag team titles. She's just glad the titles are back in the rightful hands. And then Dominic rolls up and says he's got a match against Jey Uso. Prove nobody's talks to him about his woman like that. Rhea calls him stupid and asks, why would you do such a thing? Dom offers to cancel the match, but Rhea asks if he's a coward. He says he wants to prove that he's still his mommy and belongs to him. Rhea predictably and naturally just takes an offense, storms off, and Carlito gives him crap and told him that's not cool. Drew McIntyre is walking backstage as he get ready for the initial break. Then Adam Pearce is in the ring to introduce Drew McIntyre to get ready for that segment as things got unfolded as they explain everything that happened with CM Punk, as well as it would be special for the CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre in the match. They go back and forth with so much of everything that had unfolded, including the unprofessional behavior behind Drew McIntyre being suspended in the first place. They even showed the hideout package from Money in the Bank. And as well, they wanted Drew McIntyre to apologize to Daniel Afifero and Rod Zappa, the two referees who were involved in the situation when it came to Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre walks up to the referees and tells them no directly, that he will not apologize to them. He ended up pushing both referees down, and things really unfold as he got into Adam Pearce's face. Then Seth Rollins ended up coming out, and then they end up getting into a quick little brawl. Seth Rollins super kicks him, and then he's about to go directly for the curb stomp before Drew McIntyre rolled out the ring, became irate. As things broke down, security was trying to hold him back as things unfolded. Then he finally left after he pushed the security out the way and left back up the ramp. Then Seth Rollins' song took off, and the fans were fully chanting. They were excited when it came to everything. Seth Rollins even came onto the announce tables area and danced with Pat McAfee as they end up playing the recap of the Wyatt's situation that happened earlier in the day when it came to the VHS tape. And they ended up playing it, which was a focus on Eric Rowan. This is a really great highlight when it came to everything that had transpired. He talked about the family, how he lost both his brothers, and how he was lost in the shuffle of everything. There was a whole lot more that really went into this video. He was even given his old sheep mask and asked what it makes him feel. He said it gives him hope and reminds him of when he was at his lowest and accepted a helping hand and got up and had a pursuit in his life and a purpose. A purpose to help those like himself and take a broken heart and make them beautiful. Then they cut to a commercial break, and then they ended up coming back, getting ready for Dominic Mysterio versus Jey Uso. Dominic came out still looking kind of sad, but ready to go, kind of a little bit confident. He took on main event Jey Uso, who was red hot tonight, keeping the crowd invested. This match was a lot of back and forth, everything that you could have got in this match. Transitional moves, everything that broke down. We ended up having Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan involvement when it came to everything that broke down of a full destruction. Liv Morgan ended up running up the ramp after she got involved after Jey Uso drop kicked Dominic from behind, and Liv Morgan took advantage of everything, flipped Dominic on his back, got on top of him. Rhea Ripley's music came out. She came directly out. Liv Morgan was like, oh shit. She jetted off in them heels and went into the crowd up the stairs. Rhea looked on. Dominic was trying to apologize for everything that was going on. She told him to go back into the match and focus, but he was too distracted. Got caught with a spear and then got hit with a splash for the 1, 2, 3. As Jey Uso picked up the victory, he looked on at Rhea Ripley, who was leaving as Dominic was looking injured, and he waved at her, and then everything went off from there as she smiled and left. Then we get ready for the real big deal, which was Chad Gable. He makes his entrance into the break, and he was hype and ready for everything. But before they got that under the way, they ended up having Damian Priest comfort Dominic Mysterio before handing him over to Rhea Ripley. Rhea ends up telling him that she doesn't belong to anyone and she's not his, he is hers, and she shoved the rose back at him. Chad Gable's in the ring to call out Bo Dallas. He tells Bo to come down and they solve their problem, and that he shouldn't make him wait. Bo Dallas comes out, no music. Brutus and Julius Creed ambush him from behind, putting the beat down up the ramp. They throw him into the ring guard and stand tall over Dallas, and Bo Dallas proceeded to laugh. They hold him for a couple elbows and continue to proceed to beat down on him. Gable ended up asking him, why are you yelling and why are you laughing? And Bo Dallas ended up going with the Brody lead. Yeah. Leading Chad Gable to come over again, grab him, and then ask him what's so funny. The Wyatt's theme appears on the stage. The lights go out. The Fireflies are out and about. Things broke down as Lantern ended up coming out, and they advance out. They hit the ring to help Dallas up. He kneels up. His arms are spread as he embraced him to go into the break. As the heels ended up running away from the situation with the Wyatt Six. This story continues to get intriguing each and every single week. I'm enjoying everything, how it continues to be unfolded, but more importantly, you need to leave them alone, but they're going to come for you now. And he has a little backup now. Chad Gable still going to be terrified, but he has the Creed brothers to help him out when it comes to the Wyatt Six problem. Then we got ready for the main event of the night. Ilya Dragunov versus Sami Zayn. This match was great. I enjoyed everything about it. It was captivating. It kept me intrigued. More importantly, it kept me invested when it came to this hard-hitting match of everything that had went on. They hit all the stops on everything that went on. A lot of back and forth, elbows, special moves. They was able to hit off like signatures, German suplexes. This match was hard-hitting and smash mouth. But things continue to break down as they end up about to go for the victory. But we ended up, before he's about to go for, looked like a high spot, Dragunov was on his feet. But here comes Bron Breakker and he spears Dragunov out of his boots to cause a disqualification. Sami blocks him and they end up going to a brawl and then bouncing directly off the announcer's desk into the ring, and then Breakker goes back and forth. He takes his shirt off and up the ropes and he spears Sami for again out his boots, and he stands tall to end the show. This show was pretty decent. It had a lot of key issues when it came to everything that speed up to the storylines for SummerSlam. More importantly, it felt like it was a little bit more slow paced this week. They kind of just turned it down a little bit. Overall, still okay show. Some key pieces were kind of lackluster, but it could have been better. But as they get ready to head towards SummerSlam in the next few weeks, they'll turn the volume back up. But Triple H overall did a great job when it came to everything that had transpired. I enjoyed everything about this show, and you couldn't ask for anything better. Just in overall everything. after tonight for Monday Night Raw. But overall, appreciate you guys coming through and show your love and support. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. As well as don't forget to climb down in the comments and let me know how you feel about this show as well. And let's talk professional wrestling. Until then, I'll catch you guys later. Y'all be safe.